Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, and in this video, what I want to talk about is marketing. This video is also going out to uh, credit repair business owners and to regular business owners, and I want to talk about some things that I think crosses over um between all businesses that what people need to think about because I get a lot of questions and I talk with a lot of business owners. I have still have some business clients that I go to directly here in my city, and the rest are managed by my sales staff. Just in case you don't know, this is my publication. My wife and I started it in 1990. We've helped over 7,000 small, medium, and large businesses get more customers, period. Um, on Currently, we still have 700 businesses that advertise throughout the year. It comes out every week. So, 700 businesses that run in our magazine that we run ads for throughout the year. And they run week after week after week. So I have a lot of experience in number one, what businesses are facing, what their fears are, day to day activities, what they have to do to be able to maintain their business. Uh, One thing that's different from these companies that than what I deal with the credit repair business side is that these business owners have had to invest thousands of dollars in retail establishments like this one here with this restaurant Chubby's. Has one, two, three, four. He has five locations now. Getting ready to open up six. Furniture stores. This guy here with Budget Furniture has four locations. Um, have some cell phone store owners. One of my cell phone store owners has 16 locations. Here's a liquor store. He has two locations. Car sales, home improvement, salons, funeral homes, stereo places. I mean, we towing companies. We deal with all of them, and they run in my magazine, and some of them run where I run their digital advertising for them. One of the most common things that I see, and I even went through this when I first started my company, and something made me focus in a direction that I don't see a lot of business owners focusing in on, which is what makes me the money. Like when I've seen uh, businesses that poured thousands of dollars into opening up a retail establishment, uh, you know, thinking that once they got everything up and it was perfect and it was ready to go, open the doors that people are just supposed to come pouring in and be their customers. And all of a sudden they end up closing. And with credit repair businesses, and I had in a previous video talked about this, that I had talked with more than 300 business credit repair business owners. I get these lead sheets every morning, and they're out of more than 300. I think that there's only like 10 that are still open. 10 that are still open. Now I'm not counting my clients that have telemarketing or call centers. They're more established. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people that had got into the business. Either was an affiliate for someone or they invested in software and started their own business. That they're gone. They're closed. They're out of business. And when I would talk to them, I would get the same type of questions that I would get from regular business owners, but it was just said in a different way. When it was a credit repair business that was owner that was starting their business, they were mostly focused on software. Is this software going to work to do the work for the customer? What's the closing rate that I should be closing people at? How quick can I get to 10 or 15 or $20,000? What about the leads? Can I get leads of people that are ready to close? And I was thinking to myself, that is not sounding like someone who understands business. But I've seen that also on the side of people that have opened up stores, where they've opened up a store, put everything in there, and they were thinking that everyone that walked in the door was going to buy from them. They were thinking that just because they opened up their business, that people were going to find them and come to their business. And so what I've coined this as is what I call it a blind spot. It's a blind spot that we business owners have because we're so focused on, number one, the end result of making a business and making a lot of money. But we're also focused a lot on the business itself, on what we want the business to look like. Probably one of the best lessons that I learned for my business was that the public, no matter what you do for your business at the beginning, no matter how much even advertisement and all types of things that you do to veer people to think about your business a certain way, they're going to come to their own conclusion and think of your business a certain way. Now, I'm not talking about a good and a bad about it. I'm talking about what they're going to come to their own conclusion about what your business's value is to the community, or just a number of things. One of the things that happened with my publication, when we started the name, my wife and I named it Community Contributor. And what ended up happening is everybody would just call it the Blue Book. Like, it's blue and they call it the book. Even though it's a magazine, they call it a book. Blue Book, Blue Book, Blue Book. So we ended up changing the name to Blue Book. When I would go around, people would call me the Blue Book Man. When I used to go around and do sales and stuff, people used to call me, there's the Blue Book Man. People would prefer their business associates to me for advertising. They would say, call Stevie's the Blue Book Man. And so there's some things that's going to just automatically come about just because of the way the community wants to see you. And that's a portion of business that we can't control, no matter what you do. Think of all the different products and services that are out there. A large amount of it is perception of what they've put out there, but there's also a portion of that is what the community perceives that business to be. And no matter how hard they fight, no matter what they say in their advertisements, that perception is already built in. So when I learned that lesson early on with my business, and I'm talking 1990, I'm talking a long way back, and this will help you in your business, because this is what took me from zero to $100,000 a year in just 4 years. And it actually took me from zero to $36,000 with this small publication within 6 months, 6 to 8 months. I think it took about 8 months. So from zero to 36,000 in 8 months. Now, and it was going to be 36,000 a year, so it wasn't 36,000 a month. So, but when I understood that perception of what the community would think of my business, and then I started to make my own perception and built on what they perceived it to be, it allowed the business to grow. Because then what happened, what was happening is I wasn't fighting against the tide. A lot of business owners, they get into business and they try to make everything their way, and they're like fighting against the tide when you could just put your surfboard on the tide and ride it. And that's what my wife and I ended up doing, is we rode the tide. You want to call it the Blue Book? It's the Blue Book. It's an advertising publication, not a information like news publication. Okay, it's an advertising publication. And we started signing up more people for advertising. Now, that took us from zero. We're talking about zero. And we started our company with a $500 investment, and then we also needed to get computers, which we put on layaway, and we paid payments on that. We're talking 1990. I was broke in 1990. I was broke money wise. I wasn't broke mentally and with spirit to be successful. I was very rich in my mind with that. So we started the business. 8 months, $36,000 a year is what it would be. Quit my security guard job, and then from there, after 4 years, we're at $100,000 per year. I was making $100,000 per year, and then we went from $100,000 to $1 million by 1999. $1 million a year, $1 million per year. We're talking about a person that did not finish college, only went a few semesters in college, joined the military at the age of 17, and got out of the military when I was 20, started this business when I was 20, 8 months, making $36,000 a year. After 4 years, making $100,000 a year. By 1999, $1 million. So now, and no, all $1 million didn't go to me. I had expenses, but a lot of it went to me and my wife, and a lot of it still goes to us. So now, but let me go over the blind spot that I saw, and not to say that there's not other blind spots that I still need to make sure that I see and focus on, but I think I'm able to focus more on those now because I have staff and employees, over 21 employees that do all of that work, so I get to focus on the blind spots of my business. But let me tell you a blind spot that I know most of you are going through this. If you're not near your goal, if you're still working for someone, or if you have a business and you have a storefront, and you're not where you want to be, let me show you where your blind spot is. Let me go over what your blind spot is. I got right here on my notes. No matter what you do, if you do online ads, if you do ads on TV, radio, newsprint, you're going to have to figure out something that generates leads. Advertisement is not to sell, it's to generate leads. But advertisements are set up to do what's called a pre-sale. What I've seen a lot of people do in print and online is they think that they're going to put out an ad and people are going to buy from that ad. It just doesn't work that way. Even with the restaurant ads that we have here, they do so much advertisement over a period of time to where they have what's called like a step up, where they'll advertise. Number one, when you advertise a restaurant, you're going to usually get a lot of people in, and you won't know if you have a successful restaurant until like 6 months to a year later. That's crazy. Some people, like especially credit repair business owners and other types of businesses, would wish that they could have a rush at the beginning and then know if their business is going to be successful at the end of that time. But for some reason with restaurants, this is what they usually go through, is that a lot of people go eat at them and they're going to make their judgments right there. I've done it with restaurants. You've done it with restaurants. And the restaurant owners know this. So what they plan is they push out advertisement, and they do what's called a step up, where they know that if I just continually advertise, continually get people in, I'm going to keep a certain amount of those people that come in as customers. So let's just say they run ads, 200 people come in that month. They know that they can keep, maybe half, let's just say 50% of them. And then they do again and they keep another 50%. And then maybe some of the people that didn't come back, off and on throughout the months, they'll come back. This is how they build their business. This is exactly how they build it. When it goes with companies that are doing online advertisement or credit repair businesses, what you do is you need to have advertisements that are bringing people in as leads. You cannot try to sell them the whole boat or the whole car in one ad. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way even for other businesses. No matter what, if they're calling in, I'm looking here, here's one for a carpet cleaning company. If they're calling in, that still is not a sale. That's a lead. And that's a blind spot with a lot of business owners, is that they don't understand that if someone calls in, if someone becomes a lead, that's just the beginning of the process. So right there, you need to fix or have processes on how do you bring in people that call, how do you bring in people that become leads. Right there. What is your strategy? What is your process? What do you say to them? How do you say it to them? Do you say it the same every time so you can critique it, so you can see if what we said to this group of people got us good results and what we said to this group of people did not get us good results? So let's always make sure that we say this to those people so we can get similar results all the time. Business owners, that's a blind spot, and this, if you pay attention to that, you will be, what's the word? You'll be kickstarting your business. You'll be giving it a boost by just understanding that. Because I see business owners that have stores, business owners that are online, they don't understand that. When I learned it, the business just took off. Because when I would approach a business, let's just go back to when my wife and I, there was times when we built this business by going door to door. Door to door is the hardest way to build a business. And she would go on one side of the street, I would go on another side of the street, and we would walk into stores and we would present them our information. And what we had to understand at the beginning, we are the advertisement. And when you're going door to door, you're the advertisement. So there's a presentation of yourself before you even open your mouth. And then what do you say when you open your mouth? Because people's guards are going to be up. So what do you say to bring down that guard when people are going to have that guard up? So what we started doing is we said, okay, when I walked in, the person, they were like not interested before they even heard what I was going to tell them. So we had to change our approach with that. A business owner wants more business, so you have to come up with words to get them to bring down that wall, and also bring down the fear of being sold something that they didn't ask to be sold on. You have to bring down that wall. So there's certain things you have to say. And you might be wanting me to tell you what I had said to them. I'm not going to say that in this video. That's a company secret, but I do talk about that in one of the programs that I do sell. But so you need to, if you're doing online advertisement, if you're doing advertisement for your business, if people are calling, you have to have a process in place to make sure that everyone answers the phone the same way. If you were to call any of my sales reps, any of the sales reps with my company, they're going to answer the phone the same way. I push that so hard that even when they answer their own personal cell phone, they answer it the same way that I answer my phone. Because there's a spotlight on you. If you're in business, there's a spotlight on you at all times, especially if you're in a business where people are calling you a lot. So now we've talked about the ad. It could be a print ad, it could be an online ad, it could be you as walking into a business. The next part is, how do you generate leads, or what do you ask for a lead? When you're having people call in, what I've told business owners to do is just mark down, get as much information as possible. Depending on what type of business you have, you can and cannot mark leads the same way. With the restaurants and businesses, what they usually listen for when they call for my publication is that they just know from the deal, or they just know where people will say, I saw your ad in Blue Book and I have a question about this. When it's online, what you're doing is you're running an ad and you're generating a lead, either name, email, phone number, or you maybe just getting the email so you can send them through a sales funnel. But you have to collect that information, and I call that, when I started doing online advertising, that was like money in the bank. And it's like money in the bank. If a business owner has the time and is able to put the processes in place for print advertising, this is money in the bank. Because anyone that has shown an interest to your business is always a potential customer for your business, and you need to have some type of system to follow up on. When I generate leads, I consider that money in the bank because I can always leverage that over time. I've with my credit repair business, I think I have probably over 70,000 people in that database, and I leverage that out with several different programs that I have available that I know that they would be interested in. And it's continual revenue on a month-to-month basis. So if you're doing online advertising, you should always generate leads first and then go into the next phase, which is your pitch. And with a pitch, it doesn't matter if you're doing online advertising and you're going to call people back, or when you're pitching someone who calls from a print ad. You have to be professional and have some type of pitch in place, or people will just won't buy from you. So let's talk about it first from the point of view of a publication. Someone calls in. Now, we're not talking about a restaurant. We're talking because, I mean, if they want the food, they're gonna order the food. Let's pick the carpet cleaner. It's a good friend of mine, Tony. If you're watching this video, how you doing? He's been advertising with me for going on almost 20 years with a carpet. He owns a carpet cleaning business, and he's also a comedian now. His name is Tone. He's going for his dreams of being a comedian, and he is really doing it. But he also has a carpet cleaning business. And when people call his business, he answers his phone professionally, and he has a pitch on what the services, what the price for what he puts in his ad, what they get. Even though it says it in the ad, he still goes over it with them because he understands that no matter what, if someone calls you, you must pitch them on your service because there's competition out there. So and this is where a lot of people get things wrong too, is they think that just because someone called them, they're not looking at the competition out there. And you want to know how you're losing. If you want to know how you're losing somebody, and I've done this too, so I'm not always on my toes, but you want to know how you can lose someone when they call you is that they start saying, well, I'm going to check around with some other people. Yes, some people do want to check around with other people, but most of the time when they call you, they were looking directly on you. They were focused on you. And that is a time that you must have that pitch down to go over everything that you get for your for whatever package or whatever deal you're offering, because they're going to compare that, number one, with they're not always comparing it on if they want to go to someone else. They may compare it on, if I get everything I want right now from you, I got you on the phone, I can go ahead and schedule it, and I don't have to worry about making another call and going through all of this again with somebody else. That's why you got to give people all of the information. When you're talking to someone about credit repair, when you're talking to someone, you need to give them all of the information about working with your company. What I see a lot of people do wrong, and I don't see this that much with people that have stores, because they are more focused on the product that the person wants to buy. But I see this a lot with credit repair business owners, is they get focused more on the end result of what they're going to be doing for someone and how good they are about doing it, rather than focusing on what the person is actually going to get. But because people can't experience the end result of credit repair, of their credit being repaired, until they experience the work of day to day with your business. So your pitch needs to be more on what you're going to do from them from day one, day two, three, all the way through the process, so they can test drive it in their own mind and say, this is the company I need to work with. The reason why with business owners, where like with the carpet cleaning business person, he has to actually run that through their mind. And the way these are similar. With the cell phone company, they're basically focused on the product and the services that come with it. But you could say that the carpet company is kind of related with the credit repair company, because they're going to want to know, what are you going to do when you come in? What am I going to get? How long it's going to take? How long will it take for the carpet to dry? I know all this because me and Anthony sit and talk once a month about his business. So there's things that you need to draw in people's mind, and that's the pitch. The pitch is, yes, the end result, but also the pitch is the day-to-day customer service. How do you handle customer service? How do you handle my payments? How do you handle all types of things in between before we get to that end result? That needs to be in your pitch. And you need to formulate that in a way that does not make the person get afraid of being sold. And there's techniques on that. And then you get to the sale. So you've done all of that, and now it's time to ask for the sale. Do you want us to come to do your carpet? With this stereo place, do you want to reserve a time and get this stereo put in your car? With the credit repair lead, are you ready to sign up? Are you ready to sign up? So these are things, but you can see in everything that I've taught you, or that I've talked about in this video, has been step by step by step by step. But what happens is that, again, it's like a blind spot with business owners. So what I would think, to get ready to close out the video, what I would hope for you to do, or what I would advise you to do, is to go back more towards the beginning of your business and see what makes sales, and then fix the blind spots there, and then you'll be able to grow your business fully. Because that's exactly what I did when When my wife and I figured out the blind spot, which was, we know, yeah, we want to walk into a store and sell you on advertisement, but the blind spot is all of that stuff before we even get to that. You know, the presentation of ourselves walking into the door before we even said anything. You know, and then what was the first thing that we said to them to bring down those walls? And I don't have to say that it was successful. You can go to Blue Book MKE, and a number of years ago we started posting the digital copies. We don't have all of the digital copies from you know, from when we started, because it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. But I don't have to tell you in words that it's been successful. You could just go and click through all of the publications. This bad boy is printed every week. Bad boy is printed every week, going on 31 years. About to hit 31 years in business. Started that business when I was 20 years old. So I'm gonna end the video here. For you that are looking for marketing services, please, and the links will be below, and I'm gonna also put the links up here. Have two different offers here. One, if you're looking at marketing your business online, regular business, mom and pop, storefront. If you have an online business, please go to bluebookmke.com, bluebookmke.com. Contact us through there. Have one of my sales reps contact you. We could, you know, see if we can help you. And then if you are local here in the Milwaukee area, we invite you to advertise on our in our magazine. We have a special going on with that, where you get to be on our mobile app, text out to our 10,000 subscribers that get this magazine on their phone, and also in our printed version, which is 20,000 copies every Friday, rain, sleet, or snow, or heat. If you are a credit repair business owner, there's a link below. If you want to get my 10K program, that is specially designed for credit repair business owners. So if you have a different type of business other than credit repair, that 10K program is not for you. We have other products and services for you on the other side. But if you have a credit repair business, please click the link below. Take a look at the 10K program. It's a real deal, and you would probably benefit greatly if you signed up with that program. All right, this is Stephen Williams with Blue Book Milwaukee, Blue Book MKE. And until next time, and please do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to this channel also. We're going to be talking about marketing and all types of things here on this channel. So I'd really appreciate it. Post your comments if you have questions about how to grow your business. And until next time, thanks a lot.